the home of the do-it-yourself trucker. When everything goes wrong, you gotta Redneckanize.
Well, all right. Hey, everybody. This is Ed with Redneckanize Radio. So if you can just call in, 516-387-1733. To be part of the conversation, just hit 1. And we appreciate everybody calling in tonight. Okay, there we go. All right, good deal. So we're going to keep on trucking through here. We got about an hour left in. We're just enjoying the night and hope everybody's having the same kind of night I am. Just it's great, it's warm, and lots going on this weekend and everything. So let's keep on tracking with the news. I was just looking at things going on out there. And, people are talking about, buying stuff and doing all kinds of different things and everything like that. So what I noticed was there was an article about going, buying out other trucking companies. And, whoops, what am I doing here? There we go. So there was this one here. It was the CDLlife.com, which CDLlife.com just kind of gives you a skim over what's going on. So it says PS Logistics acquires family-run Texas trucking company. It says Alabama-based PS Logistics recently announced the acquisition of a Texas-based trucking company. It says on July 30th, 2021, PS Logistics announced that the company had acquired all substantial assets of Houston trucking company Patriot Transit LLC and Patriot Logistics LLC, a privately owned carrier specializing in flatbed transportation services in the Gulf Coast and Southwest. The financial terms of the acquisition were not disclosed. And of course, this is probably a small outfit. And to come to find out, what happened is that as I read on here, it says Patriot operates as a family-run business with a loyal driver base and strong customer relationships. The acquisition will provide Patriot and its customers with additional capacity, new service offerings, and increased economies of scale, PS Logistics said. It says Patriot was founded by David Spencer and Rex Reddy and currently employs about 75 truck drivers. PS Logistics will be an amazing partner for our business, said David Spencer. Both our companies are family-oriented and share positive workplace practices, creating an ideal environment for everyone to grow and prosper. Over the last several decades, Rex and I built a successful trucking company operation serving outstanding customers and dedicated employees. We are pleased PS Logistics will continue the tradition with the same commitment to service with our experienced and dedicated drivers and employees. It says Patriot will be operated by PS Logistics subsidiary Blair Logistics LLC under leadership of Spencer Reddy and Blair CEO Jay Boyling. Since 2007, PS Logistics has acquired 22 trucking and brokerage companies, including Jason Jones Trucking and Wilmar Trucking in 2021. So, and if I'm not mistaken, Blair also acquired Fikes. So if you think about, you all remember Fikes. Either Fikes got bought out by Blair or Blair turned into Fikes. But most of all the trucks that were under Fikes went over to Blair. From what I remember, so I could be wrong on that. If anybody has any other information, let me know. But it seems that the flatbed, they're kind of consolidating. You see this happen a lot, especially when these COVID things happen, where kind of business kind of dries up. These flatbed companies, they need to maintain their customer base where they need to book the freight. When they book the freight and the capacity increases, they don't have trucks to handle it, so they got to look elsewhere. And of course, when you start looking elsewhere, ears start popping up to want to maybe even buy you out or merge or even try to take your customers. So, things like that never ceases to amaze me how that happens. But, when all that stuff is going down, I just couldn't help but notice that other carriers and all that, they're just humping right along. And there was another one, see if I can get over here to it real quick, where the father-son trucking company was celebrating 50 years in service. And this made, of course, this wasn't big news for anybody really, except for Fremont Tribune. And that's what I was going to get into. And they just want to have all these fancy deals. Oh, come on now. Come on. Yeah. I try to go in there and then you go in and come out and they don't want to give you the information. Oh, here we go. Now we got it. So it says father-son owners of Papa Trucking celebrate 50 years in Fremont. It says in operating Papa Trucking and grading together for the last 5 years, Dean and Dustin Papa said they're upheld their family business legacy. We work very well together, and said Dean Papa, Dustin's father, there's no headbutting. Nobody has the bigger ego. It says, this year, Papa Trucking, located at 900 South Union Street, is celebrating 50 years in the Fremont community. The company hauls sand and gravel and conducts site preparations, yard grading, and demolitions. The business was opened in August of 1971 by Dean Papa's father, Dick, who bought a dump truck and hauled sand for ARP's Ready Mix, a job the business has been working ever since. As things developed, he bought different equipment and just kind of grew as it needed, Dean Papa said. He says, but that's where it all started. You can see that's, and you think about things about, starting businesses and where it ends up. That's how it ends up right there. You just never know. I was trying to see what we're doing here. I mean, come on, man. I understand it's free and all that, and you got to have ads, but come on, get with the program. But I was trying to get more deal on here because you got to get through a bunch of ads and stuff and all that crap. So that's why I was trying to get through all this stuff. But yeah, that's up in Fremont, Nebraska is where that's based out of. That's why I was trying to make sure we knew exactly where that was. But it's got a really good article in there. It says with Papa Trucking success, Dean Papa said that he is grateful for the company's employees, which he said are quality over quantity. They helped us out and they're amazing, and he just can't say enough good about them. It says if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have the success we have now, and it's very much appreciated. So I was trying to get more details about how big they are. It says although the company saw difficult times in the COVID-19 pandemic, Dustin Papa and said he's looking forward to what's in store for Papa Trucking moving forward. Ads keep popping up and changing. Man, I tell you what, it's crazy. Of course, this is like FremontTribune.com, so that's how it goes sometimes with these smaller websites and everything. Unless you're paying for them, it's like, why would I pay for something out of Fremont, Nebraska? See here, it says for the first year I wasn't too active in it, but the next year, Dick Papa bought another dump truck and a tractor, and I started grading yards, new construction yards, newly built houses when I was 15, he said, and then I turned 16, I started driving. He says Dick Papa was helped by his other son, Denny, who graduated high school shortly after Papa Trucking was founded. Dean Papa started work with the business at the age of 14. Yeah, so that was, and of course we know how long ago that was, because nowadays you wouldn't even be able to see that kind of stuff. At least not brag about it like they did. But yeah, see, and so I just thought that was good stuff there, talking about how, man, these ads, I tell you, I got to close this thing. There we go. I just thought it was because you saw trucking companies being bought up by other trucking companies, but then you see other trucking companies, or whatever you want to call them. Like this is technically probably a construction company. They're a trucking company because they own the equipment and haul the sand or the gravel to the job sites and everything. But that's kind of what trucking boils into. My great grandfather, he hauled lumber. Most of the time for, his father owned a lumber yard. So he pretty much was a truck driver driving for the lumber, pulling for the lumber yard. And that's kind of how he got his start and everything, and then moved on up from there and did other things. But then his son did that at an early age. And then of course, just dove right into it and became trucking. And that was my great uncle. He drove truck, until he was 80 years old. So, he started driving when he was, 14, 15 years old. And then drove truck his entire life until he was 80. So that's how it gets in your blood, and you just can't turn it away. Sometimes it just gets into you, and I think everybody out there that's in trucking now, they can agree with that it gets into you, and you never know. So, but yeah, we're just rocking and rolling here, having a great time, and we're gonna take it to the phones and see what's going on out there. And there it is. Hey, what's going on? Is this Greg?
How you doing, Ed?
Man, I'm all right, bud. How you been?
Oh, hanging in there.
Yep. Is the audio?
Finishing up another week off.
Fix take another week off, making all that money. Got to take time off. Got to take time off, man.
Yeah, no. I come back when I got back from Texas the last time. I come home, had some things to do around the house, and so we've been doing that. And her and I took the bikes out.
Yeah.
Took the Harleys out for a couple-hour cruise today, and went riding them around. It's just been so stinking hot. I ain't felt like doing anything really.
I know. I tell you what. I went to the beach yesterday, and it was awesome.
Did you?
Yeah. Rode out to the beach. and kind of pitched it up, had a shade cloth up there, and hanging out with some good friends and everything, and just had a great old time. Getting in the water. It's the water's warm, really warm. Scary warm. like a storm must be coming. It's so warm.
Yeah, that water's warm like that. It scares you.
Yeah, but it was great. We had a great time. Got some sun and everything. So, yep. Trying to get out there before it gets too cold again, because this time of year everybody's going back to school. So you got to get out there when the kids are back in school. And it's a whole lot better that way.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
But
old people can't get out there and hang with kids anymore.
No. Well, we don't want to. They act too crazy. They up to no good.
That's right.
Yeah.
But anyhow, like what you were saying about these companies buying these other companies out and everything. The driver shortage. I'm like you. I ain't buying into that.
Yeah.
They'll never get me buying into that, because for the simple fact that if there's such a driver shortage and these companies can't get, they can't find people to work. Well, why would they go out and keep buying other companies up and keep wanting more and more and more and more trucks if they can't find drivers to fill the ones they got?
Oh yeah. Well, it's just like you were saying. Well, it's just like you were saying before. They're not buying these companies because they need drivers. And it's not that they need drivers. They're just booking the freight. They just want to book the freight. They'll worry about the driver later. It's just like.
But they want all the freight. They get it. They get all the freight. They get all the contracts and stuff. These other companies, and then they turn around and they cut the rates on it to where it ain't worth hauling. And then the drivers come in there, and yeah, they're real thankful to the drivers. Oh yeah, we appreciate our drivers. Our drivers are the reason we are where they are. Yeah, your drivers are the reason you are where you are, because the money that you're withholding out of them by not paying them a decent wage, that's how you're able to increase your bottom line.
Exactly. Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah.
They're sharing that money and see how well off you are.
Right. Yeah, I totally agree. But yeah, I think it's just like what you were saying earlier about booking the freight. I know that they have a trouble covering it, but it is. I mean, just like Dan Baker said years ago, the customer pays your wages, but your driver earns your wages. So it is a double-edged sword there that I think the trucking companies just have a hard time managing very well. They understand where the money's coming from, but they don't really understand is how that money gets earned. And they need the driver to earn it. Without the driver, you can't get paid. And the customers, you tell them we'll cover it, and just like your job to where expedited, they'll pay out. They'll have to get it covered one way or the other. So if they have to pay out and lose money on a couple of runs just so they can keep that customer, they're willing to do that. As long as they can maintain that, that's what they're willing to do.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep. But yeah, so other than that, let's see. I think our other what do they call that? Up to no good in disguise.
Well,
yep. Hey, Robbie, what's going on?
Do what now?
Yeah, that's
I'm
you.
not in disguise.
Well, I thought it was going to be a peaceful evening here for a minute.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, well, someone has to spoil the show every once in a while.
Yep. So, Robbie, what do you think about that? Is these all companies buying each other out? They in for the long game, or they're just trying to get their money and run?
Money and run. Every company wants to be the biggest company, and
right.
They'll book the freight, and then they'll worry about drivers later.
Well, and of course we can all.
Or they'll find drivers that are just brand new, or they'll pay them cheap, and they'll make money on it.
Yeah, well, then we all know that's kind of how Swift grew. Is they just kept buying companies, and whenever they wanted to expand, they just bought companies, and that raised their fleet up to where they can keep growing. That's how you grow. That's how you really can't grow unless you get some kind of big customer. And sometimes you can't get those customers unless you buy out the company that customer's got a contract with. so it's a dog eat dog world out there. Is how it goes. But I thought it was funny because Greg he kind of yells at me a lot because he back in the day he kind of had a little run in with Fikes, and Fikes I think got bought out by Blair is what I remember. So Fikes is like a culprit of those. And I remember Fikes, they were always on the radio talking. There was always at the truck shows and everything, and everybody really liked them because they were all owner-operator and everything. But then next thing you know, you never heard about them again. They were gone, And look.
No, wait a minute. Whoa. Hold it right there. I want you. You're going to sit there and tell about Greg yelling at you a lot about it. Why don't you tell everybody the true story about how that all come down there? Oh, wait a minute, you ain't got that much time.
Yeah, right. It was a long, drawn-out process. So Greg, if everybody doesn't know, Greg is a long-time flatbedder. He's been flatbedding a long time, and he's good at it, and he's always done well for himself for that. So I was swinging doors, and I thought, you know what, I ought to try that flatbed stuff too. So I was picking Greg's brain about going flatbed, and I was calling around and I was owner-operator, and I was calling around to a bunch of different flatbed companies, and of course Fikes, because I'd made some friends with the people at Fikes or whatever because of the truck shows. And so I was talking to Fikes and talking with their pay package. It sounded real good and everything sounded great. And of course I was going to have to buy my stuff. I didn't have chains. I didn't have any of that stuff. So of course I'm picking Greg's brain. And of course we all sit down at the truck show and we talk with the recruiters and everything. And of course Greg sits down and talks with them too. And after the show, we don't really, I don't know. I guess I was a pansy, and I just didn't want to pull the trigger and do that flatbedding because I never done it before, and I thought, you know what, that's scary crap, especially when Greg was telling me the truth about everything and how hard it was, and it's hard work, and I never pulled the trigger. And next thing I know, I get a phone call, and Greg he decided he was going to go sign up with Fikes, and I'm like, hey, wait a minute now, I didn't do that.
Nah, it's all good. It's all good. I got over it.
Because I guess Greg thought I was going to go over there too, and me and him was going to run together. And I'm like, man, sorry, man, but I didn't want to do that.
I don't know what was worse, finding out that you wasn't going to go to Pikes, or finding out when you sold your truck. I thought, really?
I know. Yeah. Well, it is. What do we say in trucking? It is what it is.
It is what it is.
That's right. Yep. And it's just like life in general. In trucking, you think you got a plan, and next thing you know, your plans change because things change, and the way trucking is you never know. You could have this gig that you may think is really good, and the next thing you know, you got a good customer come up, and you drop everything to go handle that customer, and then that customer goes out of business. And that's how things happen in trucking. You just never know. Don't agree.
You have to take the good when it's good, and roll with something else. So you always got to be looking.
Yeah.
Looking for plan B and plan C and plan D.
Yep. Just like shooting pool, you got to set up for your next shot. Always be ready to take that next shot. But yep.
My problem is 8 balls all you didn't wait.
Yeah. I'm gonna make a T-shirt right there. I'm gonna say yep. Life is crazy, and the 8 ball always gets in your way somehow.
Okay. 8 balls always in your way.
Yep. But I was looking at the news. Ain't too much else going on. Like I said, that Interstate 70 was shut down over the weekend, and it wasn't that big of a deal. I don't know why. It was like number 2 in the Google search for trucking news. And of course, they're still talking about the driver shortage, and there's a lot of different outlooks on that. They're talking about looking for drivers overseas, or recruiting is offering different incentives as far as like bonuses and all that stuff. And I was like, and I'm kind of like, in my opinion, tell me what else is new. That's always been the case. Recruiters will look for different drivers wherever they can find them. They'll look for them. I'm surprised that there's not a Swift recruiter down there on the Texas border passing out business cards to all them people coming over the fence.
You don't know that they ain't.
Yeah, that's right.
Speaking of recruiters, I got one from Forward Air last week. They're hiring owner operators in my area, paying up to $1.76 per mile. I just laughed when I saw that.
Yeah, because I mean, so they won't tell you what the going rate is, but the max is $1.76. Is that what they're saying?
Yeah, that's pretty much what it sounds like.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, no, that ain't gonna happen.
Right. Yep, it's just crazy stuff. But yeah, it's
What else do you, Rob? You swinging towards the Forward Air now?
No, I'm not gonna go swing doors for them. Screw that. No.
Hey, just look at the backside, Robbie. There's a box of wheels on it.
Yeah, just a box of wheels, right? Yeah.
that's
not for $1.76 a mile. I don't think so. You need to pay a little over, maybe like $5, $22, $30 a mile. Then we're talking.
Yeah, I don't know about the $30. I know $7, $8, $9 sounds real good.
Yeah, you.
Yep. But other than that, there ain't too much else going on this week.
I actually set up with that the other day because I got my backside handed to me, or tried to, by safety, because of the 3 little studs I pulled on them 3 Texas loads. And she informed me real quick, Greg, you can't do that. I said, what do you mean I can't do that? You can't do that. That can't be done. I said, why can't it be done when it was already done? He said, that's not what I'm getting at, you know, and I'm not going to go no further with that. But what I was told was, don't do it again.
So don't do it again.
End of the conversation. Don't do it again, Greg.
Yeah.
Okay. Then tell your dispatch, and tell the owner of the company, don't do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was all on the owner that gave you that load.
Huh?
That was all about the owner doing that one.
Hey, don't send me a load. Tell me go do this, and then reprimand me afterwards. You give it to me, I'll do it. I'll do it just because I can. I'll take it as a personal challenge.
Hold my beer.
Oh yeah, hold my beer like this.
That's pretty much what those.
I told her. I said, you're trying to find all these teams. I said, you guys have had this ad out. I said, you're trying to find teams all over the place. I said, you can't find no teams. I said, you want these unrealistic age limits on these trucks, and you don't want no solos. I said, I got 2 trucks right now. I said that I can send you over. I said, you can hire them on. I said, I guarantee you both of them will work. I said, both of them is month and a half, boys, that they'll stay out a month and a half at a time. I said, you ain't getting me to stay out a month and a half at a time. But I said, they'll stay out a month at a time. I said, but you won't hire them because their trucks are a little bit older. You won't hire them because they're solos. You won't hire them because they live outside your hiring area. I said, but yet you want to sit around the clock because you can't get no drive, you can't get no trucks. You got all the brakes, you need the truck, you need trucks, but you can't hire nobody. I said, change your recruiting habits, and I said, you can have some drivers. They didn't want to talk about it no more right then. I'll talk to you later, she said.
Yeah. Yep.
So
she didn't want to hear it.
They want their cake and they eat it too. Or you can't have both.
Yep. Good stuff. Yep.
But come around.
That's right. But that's cool, man. Because so what I think I'll do here is we'll just step away and we'll take a little break and we'll get things kind of switched over. And we're just having a great time here at Redneckanize Radio with everybody. Like I said, check us out at redneckanize.com. You can call in at 516-387-1733. Don't forget to go subscribe to our YouTube channel. We want to thank one of our great sponsors, and that's Load to Ride Transportation, ltrtransportation.com. You can go check them out. A great little company out of Denver, Colorado. They got some good freight connections out there, and that's ltrtransportation.com. Until then, just hang tight. We'll be right back. Redneckanize Radio.
Go to glory riding 18B. Oh boy, he left Atlanta back in '63. All in him